So, based on the size of the Spanish Armada, many people would look at that and say England is going to be soundly defeated. And I mean, in reality, they should have been. The English military and navy was nowhere close to that of the Spanish. So, Elizabeth was preparing her country for an invasion by Spain. They had to be smart, and this is where Francis Drake and the other military leaders of England are going to play a very important role. One thing that the English did have going for them were the fact that their ships were smaller and therefore far more maneuverable than the giant Spanish galleons. So they're going to use this maneuverability and speed to their advantage. So when the Armada set sail for England in May of 1588, um, you know, they've got a basic plan in place. Now, even though the Spanish fleet was so much bigger, it's going to face a number of challenges and setbacks during this journey. They're going to hit bad weather. They are going to have some smaller battles with the English fleet. They don't meet up with some of their forces who are on the European continent. Um, One of the biggest tactics that are used by the English is that they used some of their boats and created fire ships. So they basically set the boats on fire and rammed them into the Spanish ships, disrupting the Spanish formation. And once this formation was broken, the Spanish ships had to scatter. And this is going to lead to a lot of skirmishes along the English Channel, where the Armada actually suffers a number of heavy losses. Um, One thing that also really kind of moves the people and inspires the people was Elizabeth herself. Those public speaking skills that she picked up, in her earlier educational life, come to play, and she's going to make an extremely passionate speech. I'll put a link in down below for you to watch it. Watch this speech. It's very short, but it's considered to be perhaps one of the most powerful moments in England's history because it definitely gets her men and inspired. So after Drake and another commander, Lord Howard, are successful, the Spanish decide that they are going to retreat northward. They're going to go around Scotland and Ireland. Um, they run into more problems. A number were wrecked by storms off the coast of Ireland. And by the time the Armada returned to Spain, it had lost over 30 ships and thousands of men. And the English, from this point on, um, they're going to become the major naval power until the 20th century. The defeat of the Spanish Armada marks this real turning point in Europe. This is the moment where England is once again returned as a power, and this is a power they're going to keep. It's also going to be the beginning of the slow decline of Spain's place as a European power. And they'll be forced to start to retreat, not only from playing a major role in the affairs of Europe, but also in the New World. Elizabeth was victorious. England was saved by their Virgin Queen. So, why can we consider the reign of Elizabeth I as being the Golden Age? Well, there's a couple of reasons. As we talked about already, this is a period of exploration and expansion. Elizabeth, greatly increased her holdings in her territories, and this is the start of the English Empire. She brought in stability and prosperity. Elizabeth's reign is very stable. She's going to have 30 years of peace after all that religious strife and turmoil. Up until the Spanish Armada, things in England are very, very stable and peaceful. She's going to create an effective government, and this will lead to the economic prosperity. We're going to see advancements in science and technology during this period of time. Scientists like Francis Bacon. We're going to see, thanks to Drake and Hawkins, new skills and technologies when it came to navigation and cartography. But perhaps the greatest thing to occur during this golden age is we see cultural flourishing. The Elizabethan era witnessed a real growth in English literature, drama, and poetry. We have people like Christopher Marlowe and Edmund Spenser um, writing beautiful poetries and plays. But perhaps the one person connected most to this period of time was William Shakespeare. And we're going to be looking more at William Shakespeare in our next lesson. Um, but without a doubt, the Shakespearean period goes hand in hand with that of the Elizabethan period as Shakespeare got his start there and his great works of art would be crafted and created there. Now, sadly, all things do need to come to an end. Elizabeth is going to die on March the 24th, 1603, and this is going to be a real blow to England. And for most of the people living in England, she had been on the throne for 44 years and 4 months, and that was the only monarch that they knew. King James IV of Scotland would become King James I of England with Elizabeth's death, and this would greatly shift the direction in which English took, becoming a more religious and conservative country. As for Elizabeth, there would be a grand ceremony a month after her death where her remains would be laid on top of that of her sister, Queen Mary I, in Westminster Abbey. You can still visit the tomb of Queen Elizabeth. Sadly, they don't really have anything there for Mary, but it is one of the most visited places today, and it really does capture the spirit and power of a woman who didn't only transform England, but played an important role in transforming all of Western civilization. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, today's class is history.